Good morning. Bit of a pause there before I started. I was deciding what to say. I thought I'd just say good morning. It is Tuesday, the 5th of October. This is the pre-ramble with the pre-rabble, all the Movement Snack mates arriving live or on catch-up, which is essentially just after the event. So for whatever reason, morning Andy Scott, not everyone wants to or can or is able to join at the allocated times, 8, noon and 4. But that's okay. You just come on in whenever you want because we're here. We're here on the catch-up brackets provided Facebook isn't on a global outage. What a crazy 18 months we're having. I'm not even going to summarise that because it all sounds a bit mad in the same sentence. But anyway, morning pumpkin. Thanks, Andy. Is that to me or to Miss Perry? I quite like that. Being called a pumpkin. Well, maybe you are talking to Chris. I don't know, Chris. Maybe he's talking to you. That's quite affectionate for Andrew. An endearing comment, calling you a pumpkin. He probably meant it as an insult, but I'm taking it as a compliment. Pumpkins. What's a pair of pumpkins called, Andrew? Don't answer that. Jane, morning. Great to have you in live. The question posed this morning, Jane, is what do you call two pumpkins? It's not a joke. Maybe it's just a pumpkin collective. I don't know. Maybe it's just two pumpkins. Random Ed. You know what my Ed's like in the morning. Morning, Ian. Morning, DS. How's your weather? Have you had your breakfast yet? And all random and important issues like that can crop up in the pre-ramble with the pre-rabble. I use rabble affectionately, in an endearing way. Because we love you lot, you rabble. You know I was going to say, give him an inch and he takes a mile, does Andrew Scott. Morning, Wendy. Good to have you in. Come on in. I mean, we sit here and say good morning and say your names, but maybe I should just say good morning. I don't know if everyone wants a mention on the mission. I don't know. Mission mentions. Morning, Gloria. I'm going to say morning to you. What can I tell you? Sorry I missed you yesterday. Dave, thank you to Dave on another stand-in, a double whammy. What are you telling me? Ear a pair. Is that a pair of pumpkins? Super G. Dawn's deaf in one ear. Oh my goodness. Hoping that clears. You've got a pulsating pulse in one ear. Another day of movement. Indeed, it's there. It's in your day. It's the thing that pulls us all together. We're all going to move. All right, Francis, going for a walk around the docks. Nice. Francis is kind of going to get my Bristol recollections. I want to say the waterfront and the begins with A, the theatre, the what's it called? It will come to me in a minute. Arnolfini, is that still there? I used to spend a lot of time there. Back in my days, pull up a sandbag, I'll tell you a story. Bolton's in, morning. How are we doing for time? Here's the watch, Ian. Here's the watch on the timer. Pardon? Say what? Said Dawn. That's a yes to the Arnolfini. Thank you, Francis. What else to say? Any other last headlines, I think, for a minute or so. Did you enjoy Lost in France this morning? I thought we could do maybe a chorus all together of ooh la la la. Do you want to? No? Okay, then let's not. Because I'm a bit uppy-downy, I've noticed today. Let me just have a bit of coffee, sort that out. Only half the collective. No prizes to guess where your sister is. Hang on a minute. Starts with H and ends in day. Or starts in A and ends in way. She's away on holiday somewhere near the beach, I'm guessing. I'm all blurred. I'm probably better blurred, Dave, actually. Sounds horrible. I'm just reading all your comments. I might just shut up and read your comments because it's far more interesting than what I've got to say. Right, we're close to 8. It's your morning get-go, top to bottom, back to front, inside out of movements, all of which are going to be in your day, and we just crank them up, get them going, gradually get you in the zone for your day. I'm singing Lost in France now. The chorus, all together, Sandra, ready? Sandra and I are going for another bit of a yomp on Thursday as well. You're going to work out where we're going, Sandra. We're going for a yomp down the coastal path. Nice to see you. Last night was, I know, wasn't it incredible last night? Like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to the mission without Facebook? I was trying to think up of all kind of things, what we might do instead. I don't know, maybe light beacons across the country. at 8, 12 and noon. Can you imagine? Oh, my head's gone off on one. Anyway, no, let's not light beacons because Facebook is back. So we were lost by chance, hence this morning's Mojo tune, which is Lost in France by Bonnie Tyler, just helping you join the dots in case you hadn't kept up with my random mind. Right, come on, 3, 2, 1. Bex Townley, later life training. It's a go, go, go. Thank you, Dawn. I'm in socks because we give ankles, feet and toes an extra airing. Wear the right footwear for you. Check your RER is clear. We start with some cert boosts and then take a top to bottom journey of movement. All the moving parts that we can, we pretty much get them going if appropriate. So here's your standing prompts. Continue in sit if you know what's coming, or just wait for me. Fairly close to this external support so it can do its job. So if you know you want your hand on the support, then it needs to be fairly close, about hip height, kind of here is probably a little bit better, or it might be in front of you. First thing is to feel steady, strong, confident before you do anything at all. Lift and lengthen, a few footprints in the sand just to check that weight is even, and then get going. She says, putting in the movement, snacking teeth. Start steady, stay steady, and I'm exaggerating here the ankle, feet and toe movement. That's really what we want from this march, to get the most from it, as opposed to flat foot marching. So take the time to peel off the heels first and find your feet. Keep all this activity in the middle, still comfortably breathing though, and then add in all the extra moving parts. You might want to fix up on the legs, steady the bottom end, and then just get the upper body going. Can you feel and see that the movement is from the shoulder, not from the elbows? No flailing elbows, folks. It's all from here, all supporting that extension and open and activity around the shoulder blades as well. And it might look like that, it might look like this, it might look like this, or this. You choose. Ready? Here's your sit prompts. Continue in stand if that's your preference. Anchor the buttocks, feet are flat if they're involved, into active sit. That is it's not just a forward, it's a forward and a lift and extend here, getting the best possible position for you. I had a Kenny Everett phrase in my head then. The best possible position for you, 1 or 2 arms steadily, all bringing them together, or a bit of everything if you fancy it. Lots of ways to get the circulation boosted, but you know, the common denominators are rhythmical, steady, moving parts, kind of moving together. I mean, you could do this if it felt easier, but it's not really how we move. We have this kind of reciprocal, one forward, one forwards, one back, when we walk or stride faster. Have a hip walk forward if you're going to be on your feet at some point today. Have an extra check that you bring those feet back a little bit. This is going to enable you to get even more movement from the feet. There you go. Take it to the low lift if you can, keeping the knees low. We're not after high knees. It's really about the feet driving the knees up around the strong posture, and then all the other moving parts. There you go. Do you feel the cert boost flurry? When I say flurry, it's the shunt of blood to those moving parts that we've gradually increased to kind of a point at which we're kind of starting to feel, yeah, I need to take some deeper breaths. Hopefully that will energise and invigorate as well. If you imagine all the good stuff in the blood is being circulated around to your moving parts and muscles, and now we're ready to focus on more range of motion required for your daily life. Ready? Shoulders first. Feel your way around some rises, some uprising shoulders. Sorry, I stayed up there a little bit long there. Let me just, to be clear, sorry. Up and down. This could be in sit or stand, a couple of ups and downs. If you know this external support is important for you, you might want to take a nudge up there so you can freely move the hands away. If I turn sideways now, just to show, can you see like my posture is here if I don't think about it? It's here if I do think about it. And this is going to enable and promote more effective ranges of motion. So go for the lift in the back in the circle. You might be in sit. Can you feel it's more of a circular backward squeeze? That's going to involve more moving parts. So it's not just about the shoulders here, it's about the whole of the kind of middle of the chest and the ribs and the shoulder blades that are required in your day for any arm movements. 4 or 5 good ones. Take a pause. Let's move on to the next movement. Having got the shoulders and the kind of midsection moving, now we're going to stabilise that bit and move the head instead. So we've got the foundations there now for the head turn. Fingertip here just to guide that. I take the slow turn and return, and that is the pause reminder back at the centre. If you're in sit, you might want to put your hand on the side of the chair. You still may feel that you want support in the chair, it really depends on you. If you're in stand, have the hand on some external supports. Remember, any head movement may affect your balance, and we're really focusing on feeling full comfortable range of motion, turn and return. So it doesn't stay there, it moves and returns, move and return. And can you see that the chin stays level, my head isn't lifting or dipping? Might take a few of those to kind of feel that that's more freely moving, and don't take your eye off what's happening in the supporting parts as well. Remember, they work together. Shoulders and upper back done. One of the turning movements of the head done. Here's the third movement of the turning head that's not turning, it's easing back. So we call this the double chin win-win, because that's the sensation, that's the sensation that is this head movement. And it's moving the head in probably a range of motion that might not be considered in your day, and it's part and parcel of our habitual posture. So perhaps you spend a lot of time flexed and bent forward, perhaps your head is a little bit further forward than perhaps you're aware of, lots of perhaps today. Come up and then just perhaps have a think about trying to add that extra movement there and feel what that does to your posture and to your head position, perched on top of the spine. So that's your 3 of the top trio, as we call it. Shoulders and upper back and shoulder blades, the head turns, and the double chin win-win. Now we crowbar in a second round of circ boost. So just pick this up where you left it off. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get more intense. It just ticks along, just keeping the circulation boosted, and perhaps more, perhaps again, I'm going to stop saying perhaps I will. Ankles, feet and toes, here you go. More feet, more toe hinges. You might want to take some separates there of just leaving the balls of feet behind. You might want to go slower but bigger in the in the upper body. The same in sit. Can you feel, hopefully you can feel that after 3-4 minutes of circ boost and those first movements, you almost kind of get your second wind and all the good stuff starts to happen and movement becomes freer and more comfortable. 3 movements now, all involving the trunk: a bend, a turn and an extend. I'll give you the seated prompts first. Anchor the buttocks, even weight across your sit bones. If the legs and feet are involved in your day, anchor those and plant those firmly as well. Lift and lengthen. You might have your arm on the side of the chair to take a side bend, and I'm bending towards the support side first. I've got invisible armrests today. And this is just to show, just start steady, start with the win-wins, knowing that the arm of the chair might assist for that push back, or it could be here, hands on legs, or it could be freely bend and return. You might want to pit stop pause in the middle. Use the recoveries. If you feel that your posture muscles starting to tire or fatigue and you need to do that and then go again. So the rests are really significant, and it's how we learn and improve and build the stamina to go again. So use the rests. They are your friends. There's the side bend. In stand, just to say, wider stance for side bends in stand, because you're bending away from your middle parts. So anchor the feet, support might be in front, we're going directly to the side. So just have a check-in with yourself. You've got no pike, you've got no thrust. It's all about the sideways movement, as if you were tracing your fingertips down the seams or the outside of your leg there. Have a step out, have a pause, have a switch off. So change the range and then set up again, because there's so much value in resetting up that position again for the next movement, which is a trunk turn or trunk twist. Can you see that my knees are a bit, I'm in the ready active position here, ready to adjust. I've got activity in my thighs. Just be aware, if you turn this way, you're moving away from the support. So you might want to have that in front, and then you can use that support to add extra movement. You can use it as a kind of a goal to reach a little bit further, look, but keep the hips still. 4 or 5 good ones, same in sit, anchor the buttocks, lift and extend, keep the shoulders down, make sure they don't go with you on a hunch. I was trying to think of some kind of Columbo detective gag there, like on a hunch, but I couldn't quite pull it together, so I'm just going to move on. Pause, lift and extend, don't hunch. If you've got a hunch, don't do it. Take the turn and return. And the arms are out of the equation, but you might want to just take them around with you. In daily life, if you're going to turn the trunk, the chances are it's because you want your hands to get something. Be that seat belts, be that washing, dressing, reaching for stuff behind, sorting out your pillows and your cushions, all that kind of stuff. It's quite a complex movement is turning the trunk, and it might feel a little bit easier in seated because your buttocks are supported. So even if you have had a go in stand, have a go in sit and just feel, does it feel the same? Do you have more range of motion in sit than you do in stand? And then it gets really exciting and fascinating. Anyway, that's your bend, your turn. Now we're into an extend. Hey, big extender. I'm going to turn this way so you can see. Come into relaxed posture or inactive posture, and you'll see the curve there in my back, and I go a bit curvy and flexy. Head comes forward, all those things that I've just mentioned. The first part is to roll and shift forward, and can you see now what's happened to my posture and how this is going to improve movement and balance in sit and in stand. The back extension goes a step further and takes us to there. The gaze remains forward. You might be comfortable to put your hands there to take a lift and extend, and the feeling is if your sternum here is just going squeeze up and return. It's quite a small range of motion, but it's part of that upright posture first, and then there. And in daily life, this would be for things such as reaching a little bit higher than you ordinarily would. In stand, balanced, close to some support, and that gives you great indicators as to what's happening round at the hips when you take that extend. You might want to leave the hand behind or put the hand, anchor the hand to the wall and do it here. You might feel confident to do it here. In and out. So come out of that range of motion and then build it again. So it's the journey of the movement. Last round of circ boost, she says, looking at the clock. Last flurry, and now more focus on ankles, feet and toes. So really slow it down and go for those heel raises. Use external support. We're not looking for this to challenge balance. You might want to put in a few slower knee raises if you're confident on feet, or you might even want to take a few diagonals as well. So mix it up in this third round, but keep it moving. Slower and bigger on the arms. And now we're into the last set of movements for feet. If feet are not on your radar, go back round the upper body ones, but I've got some mobility movements for ankles, feet and toes. Here's the seated options. I've come back into the chair, so my backside is right here at the back. Low lift of the foot, and there is the ankle movement here. So can you see my socks? And I'm going for a point of the toes as well, involving the toes. 4 or 5 good ones of those. You'll feel the front of the shins and the back of the calves working. This is how one of the key movements, ranges of motion for walking. Extra toes there at the end, and here's some other options. So when we take it here and leave the balls of the feet behind, we've got ankle and we've got the feet and the toes. And then when we have this one, we have the ankles, a bit of toe, but no toe hinges. But can you see I've got some hip as well? Same on the other side. And it might be that some or all of those are comfortable or not for you. It really depends how long your legs are. Then, if you're looking to improve your standing activities, but you're in a sit position today, bring all those movements together from this morning's movement snack around posture positions and trunk, and rehearse foot placement in sit position. In stand, outer leg to move, couple of toe hinges just to get the feet moving, and then crowbar in some ankles as well. To do the other side, you might be confident to move the inside leg, depends how your balance is. We always suggest you change sides there. Couple of toes and then a couple of heels. Feel the difference between the ankle movement and then the foot movement. And we need all of that. And plus you've got some hips and knees in there as well. Step out of that. Again, any transitions, any extra steps to have a switch off and a reset up are all valuable. Any time you spend changing weight, shifting feet, all goes in the benefits bag and contributes to feeling more steady and keeping your balance mechanisms working. Right, let's finish with some Bex hugs. Open and close, slow, slow, slow. Maybe some shirt off movements, as I call them. Single arms or double arms. That's it. That's your early morning get go. Off you go, Margaret, rushing off for an appointment. I think you've got a double whammy house today. Dave's back on a more usual work routine, so a little bit less Dave at the moment, sadly, but myself and Kels will be working to fill in them gaps. So I'll see you tomorrow, same time, bright and early. Have a great day. Bye for now.